The next couple of games for the Yukon Huskies have been cancelled sadly as a result of COVID complications, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot to talk about with this team. In this period of reflection, it's been clear that in the absence of Paige Bueckers, some players on this team have been required to stand up to keep the Huskies afloat. And while a few have stepped up to the plate, most notably Caroline Ducharme, others have still continued to be inconsistent, resulting in some mediocre play overall from the Huskies as of late. If the Huskies are to be back in their best form as soon as possible, even without some key pieces, they're going to need a few players to be better, and that's what I want to discuss in today's video. Today, I'll be looking at a handful of players on this Yukon roster that I believe need to be better, their struggles so far this season, and why their improvements in play would do wonders for Yukon moving forward in my opinion. Before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, please be sure to subscribe for more women's basketball content like this. I'm aiming to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we are less than 20 away from that goal, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about the Yukon Huskies. Ever since Paige Bueckers went down with her knee injury, the Huskies have been in all sorts. While they're starting to figure things out a bit, with an impressive win over UCLA and a great fight against a fully healthy Louisville, there are still some things to work on, and one of those things is having multiple offensive weapons firing at once. To begin the season, UConn were over-relying on Paige Bueckers to create offense. She was doing everything for them, but there was never someone consistently backing her up. Since her injury, Evina Westbrook and Caroline Ducharme have been the players to consistently play well offensively, creating shots, scoring efficiently, and overall leading the way on that end. But it's been clear that UConn need another option to rely on. Those two can't do it all. The lack of a second option has been hindering UConn and keeping other teams in the game. And to me, that option that needs to step up, in the backcourt at least, needs to be Kristen Williams. Williams is currently averaging the lowest points per game of her collegiate career since her freshman season at just under 14 a game. And she's also been rather inefficient to begin the new season as well, currently shooting 43% from the field and 30% from three. Significant drops in efficiency from last season. However, we know how elite of a scorer Williams can be. The question is, can she do that consistently for UConn as they hunt for another national championship? We saw her X-Factor capabilities in the game against Minnesota early on this season, where her offensive abilities and high basketball IQ allowed her to break the game open for UConn and keep them ahead while their defense struggled, particularly in the first half. She finished that game with 31 points, indicating she can be a fantastic secondary scorer for the team and also be a leader on offense when the team is struggling. So, why has Williams been inconsistent and struggling herself then? Well, I think a lot of it comes to her mental and confidence. Her poor form lately has probably been frustrating and making her feel less confident with her shot, which will in turn lead to it being less effective. If she's able to turn this around though, which is easier said than done of course, it's going to make UConn a far better team, as her ability to create chances off ball will take some attention off the primary options, like Paige when she's back or Evina Westbrook currently. Williams has the talent to make UConn's offense far more versatile and unpredictable by forcing the opposition to focus on other threats outside of Paige, which will space the floor. But again, Williams just needs to be more consistent to do that effectively. Williams' improvements would not only benefit the Huskies majorly, but also herself. With this being Kristen's final season at college level, she'll be entering the WNBA draft this summer. So in order to boost her draft stock, she needs to play at the highest possible level. But right now, that's not happening often enough. Again, we get an occasional dominant scoring performance from her, and we know she can consistently provide 15 to 20 points per game. But that's not happening so far this season and needs to change ASAP in my opinion. As I've mentioned in a previous video, Williams is a major X factor for the Huskies and can make or break their season. Right now, unfortunately, her play is breaking it, so hopefully she's able to improve from here on out to help the Huskies turn things around and become a competitive ranked team again. Another two players I think need to be better and step up for UConn moving forward are the two frontcourt stars of the team in Olivia Nelson-Ododa and Aaliyah Edwards. The two have enormous potential to be some of the best bigs in the country and make UConn an unbeatable team, but sometimes I feel like they leave a bit to be desired. Both players have seen declines in statistical output this season, with Nelson-Ododa averaging just 8 points per game and 7 rebounds, a 4-point decline from last season, and Edwards is averaging just 5 points a night in her sophomore season, whereas in her freshman year, she averaged over 10. That's just a crazy drop-off in play, and the big question here is why? Because both promise so much entering this season. I mean, both Ono and Edwards are playing almost identical minutes to last season too. So why has this decline in production occurred, even though they've been presented with more opportunity with recent injuries? Well, there's a couple of things that I've noticed. For Nelson-Ododa, she's been a lot less aggressive offensively. Again, though playing almost identical minutes to last season, Ododa is shooting 2.5 less field goals per game, leading to a regression in her play. It's not like her role has changed either, so maybe she's lost some confidence or has just been a bit passive so far this season. Either way, but that same mentality on the glass and inside the paint that she had last season just isn't there, it feels. And in my opinion, it needs to be if UConn want to win the national championship this season. We've seen glimpses of that hard-nosed play Ono displays during this season, particularly in the win against Notre Dame, where Nelson-Ododa appeared to be far more intense in going after rebounds, finishing that game with 14 points and a season-high 13 boards. However, like Williams, we don't see that level of play nearly enough, and I think UConn will need to see more of it if they're trying to remain competitive with the best of the best while Paige is out. As for Edwards, I think she's just in a bit of a shooting slump. Differently to Ododa, Edwards is getting the same shot attempts per game as last season just about, but this year, her field goal percentage has plummeted from above 60% to just 46%. So that's probably why she's been a bit underwhelming this season. However, with that said, I think Edwards, like Ono, needs to be more aggressive inside as well. Her best game was also when she grabbed her season high in rebounds, finishing with 12 points and 7 boards against Seton Hall. In these games for these two girls, they were strong around the basket and were chasing rebounds, not shying out of box outs or the physicality of the other bigs on the opposition. This gave UConn an advantage on the boards, allowing fewer offensive rebounds and giving themselves more second chance opportunities. UConn have lost a lot of games this season due to losing the rebounding battle, so they need these two in particular crashing the glass more often, as the Huskies are way better when they are, and that's been evident in not just team-based play, but the individual play of Ododa and Edwards too. For example, if these two can grab more rebounds and help UConn in that area by being more aggressive on the glass, the team can get in transition more, which is going to largely benefit UConn because their half-court offense has been struggling a bit without Bueckers. So limiting those possessions would be key to being more successful in her absence. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but if these two can turn it around, the front court can become another element of UConn's system that will make them dangerous come March and borderline unstoppable if Paige Bueckers is back at full strength at that time. But we'll just have to wait and see how they go. Overall, this is what the Huskies need from these players moving forward. To stay competitive without Bueckers and potentially AZ Fudd and Nika Mule for a bit longer too, Kristen Williams needs to assist the backcourt with some quality play. It doesn't need to be superstar levels. I'm not asking for 30 points a night out of her, but an efficient 15 to 20 points consistently to give the Huskies another threat outside of the primary option is going to be incredibly important. As for the front court, Edwards and Adota simply need to be more aggressive inside. As I pointed out, both of them had their best game of the season when they had a season high in rebounds, because just doing that little thing gave them the opportunity to make a much larger impact on the game, whether that's scoring the ball inside, getting the team in transition for more fast break points, whatever. We know these two bigs are extremely capable of being X factors for this team, so in my eyes, I think it's time we start seeing them be that more consistently. Now obviously, I'm not here to hate on these players or extremely criticize their play, because as I've said, they've been good in patches this season. But as a big fan of UConn, as someone that wants to see them win, these players need to simply be better and more consistent if the Huskies want to go far come March. And it's why I'm making this video today. These players have the potential, the opportunity, and the talent to be significant contributors for UConn moving forward. So I hope we see that happen when play resumes in a couple of weeks. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? Do you agree that Williams, Nelson Adota, and Edwards need to step up? Is there anyone else on this Huskies roster that you believe need to improve as well? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.